So we finally have an update. I mean, people already suspected exactly what this is, but Masai Ujiri, after being let go from the Toronto Raptors, now they finally released that Bobby Webster will be the new GM of the Toronto Raptors. But an insider said that this is the real reason why Masai was let go. So this article that was released, again, it says Raptors insider Josh Lewenberg revealed the decisions for Masai Ujiri was largely financial rather than reflecting on his vision. Critics had questioned past roster moves and team salary cap situations. The Toronto Raptors recently made big front office change, parting ways with longtime president Masai Ujiri. Raptors insider Josh Lewenberg shared insight into the reasoning behind it. What I was told was that a number of the external candidates that came in really pushed back on some of the moves that Masai and company made over the last few years. One of them went as far as calling the Ingram trade a desperate Hail Mary, and that's not surprising, right? Lewenberg said. And I mean, Masai is a guy, put all your chips in, go all in on something. He did that with Kawhi and it paid off. So I'm not shocked that he decided to do the Brandon Ingram thing. And I mean, Brandon Ingram is nice. He's like a diet Kevin Durant. We'll see what happens with his health going forward, but he's had a whole year to rest. I'm pretty excited for what he's going to do for the Raptors this season. I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, shoot, I didn't know that's what that was. So I'm not mad at Masai making that move. And I mean, we needed something. We needed something to jumpstart our new future with Scotty Barnes as the face of the Toronto Raptors. And adding Brandon Ingram wasn't a terrible move. So I'm not mad at Masai for that. He added that some critics noted that the Raptors are currently in a bit of a salary cap crunch, paying a lot of money for a roster that is perceived to have limited upside. So the fact that they ultimately decided to stay in-house tells us a few things. I mean, first of all, it reiterates what we already knew in that Masai firing has more to do with money than vision. But also tells us that this new look ownership group, led, of course, by Keith Pele and the Rodgers control board, that they still believe in this team. That guy's the real problem. Because this is something that isn't only affecting the Raptors, but it's affecting almost all sports teams across the city. Lewenberg also explained how the leadership style of Masai Ujiri differs from his successor, Bobby Webster. Now, I'm going to explain this to y'all for the layman out there. What they're saying is Bobby Webster is easier to control. Masai has an NBA championship under his belt. He's a proud African Nigerian. I mean, whether you think that has something to do with it or not, it's up to you. But you can't really tell that guy what to do. And rightfully so, he earned that. He earned that through years of shifting this team. Remember how the squad was before? Remember when big caller Brian Colangelo was running the show? Yo, we were in the ghetto, the slums, the sewer, the gully. Masai pulled us out of that and into a championship. Yes, he's earned the right to call some shots and definitely hold some debates if you disagree with his decision making. But now that they have Bobby Webster in his place and with the changing of ownership, I'm not shocked. This is what always happens in companies. When a new owner comes in, they take off the heads of all the older management, presidents, CEOs, etc., whatever it is, in order to have more control over the company, or in this case, the franchise. Where do I expect to see some changes, or at least some differences, is a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that might not be reflected in the roster. In the sense that while their vision might not be entirely different, these are two very different people, he explained. Like Masai, larger-than-life personality and persona. Bobby's not that guy. I don't necessarily mean that that is a bad thing. So what do you mean it as, sir? I think he's more understated, down to earth, certainly easier to relate with. He continued, highlighting Webster's ability to connect with both players and broader basketball community. And I mean, who was better to connect with players than Masai Ujiri? They loved him. The players loved him. Plus, he had the plug to Africa. Come on. Raptors, y'all messed up. We messed up. But Masai, over the years, he became a celebrity, and I think there are just certain things that go with that. Whereas Bobby, he can dress down. He's still young enough to relate to a lot of players and fans and just people around. He can chop it up with anybody, whereas he can also put on a suit, and he's highly regarded and respected by his peers. I think he's shown over the years, he concluded. So yeah, as you read it with me, that's basically all he said there. And even though I think Bobby's going to do a great job, you can tell they needed somebody that they can boss around a little more. The guy's a little bit younger, who isn't a celebrity. His words, not mine. But yeah, Masai is low-key a celebrity. Even to this day, Masai Ujiri walks around Toronto right now. Everybody's stopping for a picture. Everybody's going to say, yo, bro, Masai, you the guy. You the man. That's him. That's him. Because he is him. He's one of them ones. I hope he comes back to basketball. I mean, he's never left basketball. He's still going to be with Giants of Africa doing that thing, helping these African disenfranchised people make their way to the league, or just make their way into basketball, and then using the sport to develop other awesome things within their lives. Masai Ujiri, to me, one of the greatest ever. We do miss him as a Raptor. I wish he could come back, but that's probably never going to happen. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments below regarding these comments about the inside scoop about why Masai was fired. What do y'all think about the Raptors this season? You think we're going to do some things, or you think we're still a ways away? Let me know in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time.